Hello everyone. It's great to see you again in today's video. In the darkness of the dense forest, Tu Tien was pulled to the ground by a masked man. Before she could regain her composure, she had to endure the brutal kicks and punches that rained down on her. Each attack seemed to tear apart every piece of flesh. Her breathing became rapid and intermittent. His hand grabbed her shirt, pulling so hard that her body was thrown to the side, her face covered in dirt and sweat. The whole forest was silent. Not a single sound of people. No one came to help. Despair gripped Tu Tien's heart. Her eyes gradually blurred in extreme fear. Suddenly, Tu Tien screamed loudly, then jumped up in shock, gasping for breath. The familiar light in the room flooded her red eyes. Cold sweat soaked her back. Her hands still clenched as if she had not escaped the siege of danger. Tu Tien touched her chest. Her heart was still pounding, but luckily it was all just a nightmare. Her breathing was still rapid. Her heart was pounding so hard it felt like it was about to break out of her chest. Her two hands were shaking slightly, trying to place it on her chest to keep her heartbeat steady. Each deep breath was drawn in, then released slowly, as if trying to hold on to the fragile piece that remained. Sitting for a while until the feeling of fear gradually subsided and her shoulders were no longer tense, Tu Tien let out a soft sigh of relief. She slowly got out of bed, folding the blankets as a habit to help regain her composure. Not wanting to be haunted for too long, she opened the door and went out, hoping the outside air would help her soul feel lighter. In the small kitchen, Jack woke up very early to prepare food for the whole family. He carefully seasoned the food to taste, then carefully ladled it out into bowls for each person. He placed the bowls of cooked noodles on the table and prepared to call everyone to wake up to eat breakfast together. Jack was surprised to see Tu Tien standing there watching for a while. Her eyes softened. She smiled slightly and said, "You're really hard-working." Jack turned around, his face slightly warm when he saw her awake. He gently pulled out the chair next to him. "Come sit here, I'm done preparing. Let me go call Mom to come eat breakfast together." At that moment, Jack's mom also came out of the room. Jack immediately told her to sit down at the table to eat breakfast together. Breakfast began in a warm atmosphere. The sound of spoons and chopsticks softly echoed, interspersed with gentle stories. Jack's mother took a bite and smiled with satisfaction. "Jack is getting better at cooking these days. Every dish is delicious." Tu Tien also nodded in agreement, her eyes shining with delight. "That's right, Uncle. I didn't expect you to be so skillful." Jack laughed, waving his hand modestly but still couldn't hide the joy spreading on his face. "I just try my best, as long as everyone enjoys the food." The cheerful atmosphere made Tu Tien feel strangely warm in her heart, as if she had just been placed in the family she had always dreamed of. While everyone was eating, Jack looked at Tu Tien, his voice gentle and caring. "You stay home and rest today. Don't move around too much. I have to go to the company for a bit. After finishing some work, I will arrange to come back early to see you." Tu Tien nodded slightly, her voice obedient and trusting. "Yes, I know." Jack smiled with satisfaction, while Tu Tien silently looked at him, a rare feeling of gratitude and peace suddenly rising in her heart. When everyone had finished breakfast, Jack stood up and cleaned up the dishes with Tu Tien before going to the room to change. After breakfast, Jack's mother gently helped Tu Tien stand up and led her to the living room to rest. She was still a bit tired after a long night of tossing and turning, but the warmth of the house made her feel somewhat better. The two of them sat down on the shiny wooden chairs. Tu Tien kindly poured Jack's mother a cup of warm water and then asked Tu Tien a few gentle questions. "Did you sleep well last night?" Tu Tien smiled and replied, "Yes, Uncle," as if she didn't want to say that she had a nightmare to avoid worrying her and Jack. A moment later, Jack came out, now neatly dressed in his office attire. He walked over and sat down next to the two. His eyes softened as he looked at Tu Tien, then turned to his mother. "Mom, stay home and take care of Tu Tien for me. She's still weak. You can't rest assured going to work." His mother nodded immediately, her voice firm and full of love. "Don't worry. I'm here. I'll take good care of her." Jack turned to Tu Tien again, his voice low and full of concern. "Remember to rest a lot. Don't move around too much. Take your medicine properly, eat on time. You have to keep your strength for yourself and the baby. Okay?" Tu Tien looked at him. Her eyes softened. She nodded slightly as an obedient promise. "Yes, I know. You can go to work with peace of mind. I have Auntie here at home." Jack smiled, showing his satisfaction. Then he stood up to say goodbye to everyone and went to work. When Jack left home for work, the atmosphere became peaceful and warm. Tu Tien sat next to Jack's mother on the shiny wooden chairs in the living room. She praised Jack for always caring and taking care of his family. Jack's mother smiled with pride when Tu Tien mentioned her son. Tu Tien felt both warm and regretful for the memories she could not touch. She smiled gently. "I know I don't remember anything, but seeing how he takes care of me every day, I am truly grateful. He is a good man." A moment of silence passed. Then Tu Tien turned to ask Jack's mother, "Uncle, before, when I hadn't lost my memory, what did I do at home?" She squinted her eyes to remember. Her face gentle me? "Oh my gosh, I was very diligent. Whenever I had free time, I went to the farm or up the hill, harvested fruit, and then I brought it to the market to sell. I was skillful and also loved baking. The cakes and fruits I made were praised by everyone who ate them." Tu Tien listened and felt her heart flutter, as if a faint image was trying to appear but slipped out of her grasp. Jack's mother held her hand, squeezing it lovingly. "No need to rush, my child. Take your time, remember, as long as you are healthy, Jack and I are happy." As soon as she finished speaking, as if suddenly remembering something, her eyes lit up. "Oh, how about you take me to your friend's place in the neighborhood above? She specializes in baking. She's very skillful. Before, I often went there to help people make cakes and then came home to make some for the whole family to eat. Now I'll go there to see so that Tu Tien can learn how to make cakes and then come home to make some for the whole family to eat." Tu Tien's eyes lit up when she heard that. Her innocent joy clearly shone on her face. "Yes, okay. I like it very much. I also want to learn so that I can make it myself later." That little excitement spread to her. She stood up. "Then let's go. Let's go early to cool off. The hot afternoon sun will make me tired." Tu Tien also quickly stood up, her hands supporting her belly, as if it was her habit to protect the little creature inside. The two looked at each other and smiled, then walked out of the house. Tu Tien and Jack's mother walked to the bakery. The sound of the mill echoed evenly. The smell of freshly milled rice flour mixed with the fragrant scent of green banana leaves wafted through the air. The space was rustic and simple but filled with the warmth of labor. As soon as she entered, Tu Tien was immediately captivated. Her eyes opened wide with surprise and delight. She curiously watched each step. Someone was rolling sticky rice. Someone was wrapping cakes in banana leaves. Someone was placing cakes in the steamer. The nimble hands, the still hot cakes were placed on large trays, all creating a very peaceful scene. The aroma of the newly cooked cakes spread out, making her smile involuntarily. Tu Tien immediately took out a small, pretty notebook from her bag, put the pen tip down on the white paper, and began to meticulously take notes. She carefully observed every action, every step in the cake-making process. From the moment the baker selected each lush green leaf, washed it and dried it, to the moment they kneaded the dough evenly, their movements rhythmically as if they had done it 1,000 times. Tu Tien's eyes followed every movement, her face showing a look of fascination, as if she was afraid of missing even the smallest detail. Occasionally, she turned to ask Jack's mother or a nearby baker in a low voice to make sure she understood correctly. When the first batches of cakes were just out of the oven, the hot aroma spread through the air. She immediately moved closer. She slowly watched the baker open the pot lid, check the doneness, then skillfully pick out each cake. The rising heat made Tu Tien's cheeks turn pink. She seriously recorded every step, Anyone who witnessed it couldn't help but laugh lightly at the attention and cuteness of that little girl. For Tu Tien, today's small notebook is not only a note on how to make cakes but also the first textbook for her new journey. The journey of finding herself and building a perfect home with Jack and his family. Tu Tien walked out to the area where people were sitting and wrapping new batches of cakes. The atmosphere here was bustling with laughter, rustling leaves, and the soft and smooth sound of dough being placed on the tray. She bent down slightly to observe, her eyes wide open in concentration. Her hands quickly flipped through the small notebook, writing down every detail. How to fold the leaves to make them straight, how much dough to make the cake not too big or too small, how to tie the strings so that the cake would not be deformed when boiled. While she was attentively taking notes, a gentle aroma of dong leaves and new sticky rice wafted up, making her smile involuntarily. Tu Tien's eyes suddenly caught sight of Jack's mother sitting and wrapping cakes with everyone else. Her movements skillful, her gentle face blending into the friendly atmosphere of the whole cake workshop. That scene warmed her heart with a feeling of closeness and peace that she thought she had experienced in the past, but could not remember clearly. Jack's mother also saw her eyes, smiled gently and then gave her a prepared leaf, along with some flour and filling. She kindly said, "Try wrapping one and see how it goes. It's okay. Take it slow, I'll show you how to do it." Tu Tien was a little surprised, but her eyes immediately lit up like a child being given a favorite toy. She carefully put the notebook aside so it wouldn't get in the way, then gently took the unfinished cake. Her hands were still a bit clumsy but meticulous enough to make anyone who saw it want to smile. While working, she looked up at Jack's mother, her eyes sparkling as if waiting for instructions bit by bit. Tu Tien lifted the leaf. Her two small but skillful hands slowly followed each step that Jack's mother had just shown. At first, her fingers were still a bit awkward, occasionally stopping to look at Jack's mother, carefully observing one more time. But the more she did it, the softer her movements became, slow but sure. Jack's mother sat next to her, smiling gently at her. Next to her, the old bakers looked at Tu Tien with affectionate eyes, occasionally bursting into laughter when they saw her tie the string a little crookedly and then fumble to untie it again. The atmosphere was bustling and warm, the sound of laughter mixed with the smell of fresh dong leaves and fragrant sticky rice. Sitting for a while, Jack's mother looked at the watch on her hand, frowned slightly, then smiled gently. "It's late. Let's go home before Jack watches. Come back to study another day. You did very well today." Tu Tien nodded obediently. She quickly closed the small notebook, gently wiped the pages as if it contained a treasure, then carefully put it in her bag, holding it tightly as if she was afraid of losing it. Meanwhile, Jack's mother went to choose some newly baked cakes to bring home. When she was finished, the two turned back to say goodbye to everyone and made an appointment to bring Tu Tien back here to learn how to make cakes again when she had free time. Tu Tien and Jack's mother walked out to the car to go home. The noon sunlight gently shone on their shoulders, making their steps light and full of joy. At home, Jack came home early after work as promised. He sat in the living room waiting for the two of them to return. Tu Tien and Jack's mother just entered the house and saw Jack sitting there waiting. Her eyes lit up like a child seeing his favorite gift. Without waiting for him to stand up, she quickly walked over, her mouth chattering about how his mother took her to a bakery in the morning, and there she learned how to make cakes. She promised to make cakes for him to try one day. Jack laughed lightly, her eyes gently looking at her. Seeing Tu Tien so bright, all his fatigue almost disappeared. Jack's mother standing next to her also smiled contentedly, looking at the two children in front of her. Her heart felt light. Then Jack asked Tu Tien if she was tired from the trip home. He wanted to invite her to go to the farm with him. Hearing that, Tu Tien immediately agreed to go with him. Jack immediately stood up and told Tu Tien that they should go to the farm early. He told his mother to stay home and he would take Tu Tien to the farm. Tu Tien obediently said goodbye to Jack's mother and went to the farm with him. At the farm at this time, Tu Tien's ex-husband came to the house where his father was staying at Jack's house. He looked around but couldn't find his father, so he sat down on a chair to pour some water and waited for his father to come home. He was behind the house when he heard someone calling him. He immediately went home when he saw that it was his spoiled son. He immediately asked what business he had here. He immediately said that he wanted to borrow some money from his father to spend. Hearing that, he got angry and said, "Where did I get the money to give you? I'm still having to stay at Jack's house." He immediately said that he was here no matter what. Tu Tien and Jack would give him money. Hearing him mention the two of them, he angrily said, "I forbid you and your mother from coming here to frighten Tu Tien and Jack." After saying that, he immediately chased him out of the farm. Seeing him so angry, he also stood up and left without daring to say anything more. Along the dirt road leading to the farm, the space was filled with the green of the mountains and forests and dense bamboo bushes swaying in the wind. Jack and Tu Tien walked and talked, their faces full of excitement for the new things that awaited them. However, they did not know that behind the dense trees, there was a gaze following their every step. Tu Tien's ex-husband was stealthily following, his body bent down, hidden in the bushes. His eyes were cold and calculating, as if he was nurturing some dark plot. Each of his steps was gentle and careful, avoiding revealing his presence. Jack and Tu Tien stopped in front of the house that was gradually taking shape as the future home that they had both dreamed of for so long. The house frame was sturdy. The newly plastered walls still smelled of lime and mortar. Everything was not yet complete, but somewhere there was a faint image of a happy family. The laughter of children echoed in the peaceful mountains and forests. Jack bent down and gently placed his hand on Tu Tien's belly, his eyes shining with happiness. "Honey, can you hear me?" Jack smiled gently, his voice filled with affection. Tu Tien blushed, her hand also placed on her belly, feeling every slight movement of the little creature inside. She smiled gently, her eyes sparkling with happiness. "I'm saying hello to Dad," she whispered, confused but extremely happy. Jack chuckled softly, placing his ear close to her belly as if trying to listen to every small breath in there. In the middle of the vast green mountains, that moment was so beautiful and peaceful, as if the whole world only contained the three of them and the baby about to be born. However, that joy accidentally became a thorn in the eyes of others. Behind the dense bushes, the familiar figure of a man quietly hid. He secretly looked, his eyes dark and hateful, his hands clenched as if swallowing every wave of jealousy into his heart. Tu Tien's ex-husband was still following, silently observing every intimate gesture of the two, like a predator patiently waiting for the right moment. He stood there thinking for a while, then said that he had to go back and tell his mother about this so that they could think of a way to destroy this happiness of the two of them. Jack and Tu Tien were still carefree immersed in the moment of happiness, completely unaware that behind them, a dark shadow was rolling dangerously like thunderclouds gathering before a storm was about to hit.